This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so welcome to the LocalGovU training. The at the Risk Coordinators Conference and then or Risk Coordinators Workshop rather, and then the emails I sent out. I mentioned if you had any questions, you could send them in. The only real thing that came through was a request to do a walkthrough of the system. So that's what I was planning on doing today. Of course, if anybody has questions, feel free to either ask them anytime, send them in through the chat, and then we will answer them as we go along. Sound good? Okay. All right. So this is the new main page here. There's really kind of just basic information here. A couple things I wanted to point out is this information button. So this button, it's not on every page, but it will, when it does pop up, you can check it out. This, it'll point out a few things that are on that specific page. So on this page, it shows us basic information of viewing training data, where you can find your admin controls, searching for specific content, that it can be used to find on-page help. That does change based on the page that you're on. So, each time it's going to be different. This button here does show up on every page. And it takes you to this general kind of topic browser. So this has been really useful. I've found as I've been finding little questions or things that maybe aren't as clear to me. And then I've just found it really useful. So that's something to poke around with when if you have kind of a general question. I found it really useful. Let's go back to the main page. One of the questions that came in is, can you show how to retrieve test completion reports? So we'll go into the how to retrieve reports here in a little bit. Okay, so like I said, this page is pretty standard. Nothing has much changed in the last couple of months. The next page we'll go to is the course catalog. This is just the general page where you can find all of the courses in the new LocalGovU. A lot of these here, I don't know how many, what you'll find useful, like with these 10-minute single course videos. These are mostly geared toward law enforcement. But over here, you'll find that you can filter them by topic. So if you want to find, so here you'll see there's 1,000 of those. So in most cases, you probably won't be using those. But if you want to find something related to human resources, you can just click there and it'll filter it all out. And then you can see all the courses pertaining to that topic. You can select multiple topics if you like. Anything that's really going to be generally relevant to USIP members is going to be designated as USIP. So that makes it really easy. But anybody can come into this course list and start a course they want at any time. So if a member or if one of your employees is just generally curious about diversity in the workplace, they can come in here, click on the course, and they can get it started. So that's the general page that you're going to see when you pop in. You can also click on this button. That's just going to take you to the courses that are assigned to you, as it says here. You can also filter that around. Depending on how many courses you have, that might be useful. Any questions on this page? Okay. There is this policies page. Unfortunately for me, that's not working right now, and I need to get that that fixed. Oh, actually, no, sorry, it wasn't working yesterday, and now it is. So that's awesome. This is really nice because you can upload your own courses or policies. So you can design your own course specific to your county's needs or your organization's needs, or upload your policies. So I was talking with one of our coordinators yesterday that wasn't able to join us today. And what's nice is in the case of, for example, sexual harassment, right? That's something that generally needs to be done annually. So you can assign out the the general LocalGovU sexual harassment course, but you can also upload your policy and then make sure that your employees do a course based on that policy or review that policy. You can add a quiz if you'd like. You can set what percentage they have to pass in order to complete that. It's really a nice way to kind of keep all of your policies in one place, and you can then verify that those courses or policies have been completed. I'll do a separate tutorial on that because, like I mentioned, that was not working when I looked into it yesterday, and now here it is. So I'll have to play around with that and then show how we do those policies. Okay. Any questions on the course catalog or anything like that before we move on? Okay. So the dashboard is kind of your general hub for all of your personal information. So if you go to learning assignments here, this is going to show everything that's been assigned as a learning assignment to you. So learning assignments are a new way that they put courses together in the new LocalGovU, where you can basically bundle courses. So here you can see, and I'll show how you can do that here shortly. But here I've got like an HR basics or a new hire training that has several courses pertaining to that topic. So I can just go into them here and start those courses. So as you can see with HR basics, I've completed 20% when I started testing it. New hire I just assigned the other day, and so that hasn't been started yet. But that's a quick way to find your courses that you've got. Certificates, these are courses that I've completed, just individual courses that I went into. So dealing with angry employees, I can go into, download the PDF, and then I can print it out if I want. But that's just a way that employees can show that they've completed the course after they've done it. You can also download them in a book. So that's another thing that's kind of nice. This courses just takes us back to the courses that we've done. So these are ones that I've started that haven't completed yet. Of course, your completed courses. Here again, you can download those certificates in this section. And then history just shows that you've taken it, you've passed it, what your exam score was. Pretty straightforward there. You get notifications when a course is assigned to you or when you've completed it. That shows up here. It also shows up in this little bell if you have new ones. So as you can see, I've gone through and already cleared these out, so they're not showing up here, but you can review those notifications again if you'd like. Credentials, you can add in new credentials if you've got certificates or other outside classes that you've passed. You can add those in here. There's two different versions of the training calendar. This is your individual one. So this is going to show courses that have been assigned to you and when they're due. So that new hire training that I showed you a little bit ago, on this calendar, it just shows me again here when it's due. If I click onto it, it's just going to take me back. It's going to take me to edit the learning assignment. Now that's a feature because I'm an admin, so it wouldn't do that with just an county employee. Any questions on the dashboard? Okay, like I said, it's pretty straightforward, but it's good to review. Okay, so the admin section is probably what most of you guys are going to be interested in, but it is good to review all those others real quick. So here, if we go to admin, here you can review the members of your group. So here I've got a couple of people from LocalGovU in here that we can use to test. But here's where you'd find all of your county employees who have accepted invitations to join the new LocalGovU. So here in ours, we've got myself, Johnny, Corby. You can also view invited members who haven't accepted yet. So Tony Green's no longer with LocalGovU, so he's there. Doug Perry was initially there. He's with UAC, but he's not with UAC anymore. We've got Marty and Sonia here. So we can edit their invitations. We can remove those invitations if we like. If somebody maybe has left the organization, you can then clear them out so they're no longer there with an active invitation that's open. Joe asked, is there a page that lists all of the members together? Do you mean like invited, those that are active and those that are uninvited? Yeah. No, there's not. Just these two. It separates them by active and those that are invited. So I guess they do it that way just to kind of make that distinction. It might be something though that we can suggest to them to consider in the future. So I'll take a note of that so that we can suggest that. They have been really receptive to requests and things of that nature, so that's something that we can look into. Okay, so moving on from the members, you can go to groups. So here we just have everybody in USIP under one group. So yesterday, when I was talking to one of our other coordinators, here you could have your employees grouped by their department. So in their case, they had an HR general group that they wanted to do. They wanted a general employee group. You could have supervisors or managers. So you can look in, you can have it organized that way. If you want to have employees grouped and they're not right now, I think you can do it yourself, but generally what they've had us do is send everything to Praetorian and they've done it on the back end. So what I would recommend doing is just tell me who you want in which group, and then we'll send that to Praetorian and they'll get that organized for you. I know it's kind of an extra step, but for now, that's been the way that they've wanted to do that. There's also a spreadsheet that I've sent out, excuse me, that I can send to you again to add members. If you want to have them organized that way, we can do that too. After this this meeting, I'm going to save the recording that we've started, and I'll send that out to everybody, time-stamped based on the sections that we're going through, so you can find that more quickly. And then I'll include that that spreadsheet so you can access it easily through the same email. We have another question that says, one more member question, is there a section to see what assignments are assigned to an individual? So as we go through here, I think we'll see that as we get to some of the reports. If that doesn't get answered when we get to that section, just let me know. Any questions on the groups here? Okay. So the next section is roles. This is more of an administrative role. So you can, for right here, we've just got the USIP site administrator. You can create these roles based on what you need. We haven't really played around with that too much. So if you have questions on it, let me know. I can play around with it. For our purposes here at USIP, we haven't really, like I said, needed to do anything with that. So I apologize, I don't really have more information on that right now. So this is probably what most of you are going to be interested in, is creating assignments for your members. So the one that has been, since the new relaunch, the primary way of creating assignments is to create these learning plans. The learning plans it's a little more work to start with, but it's a pretty cool concept. So if you want to create a learning plan, I've always done basic. I haven't done anything with credential. I don't know how much, because it has to do with license numbers. I don't know how much any of you would need that. If that is something that you run into, let me know, and I can look into that more. But for everything we've done, we've just gone the basic route. So you want to generally create these learning plans based on topics. So as you saw earlier, we had new hire, kind of HR basics. So for this, we're just going to do a defensive driving learning plan. You do have to fill out that field. It will reject it. So some of these fields, like everything I'm showing you on here, is required. Otherwise, it'll kick it back at you and it won't let you proceed. So we're going to call this, again, just defensive driving. And then all conditions or all courses are going to need to be completed. I've just kept that the same. And here you can then add courses. So it's going to pull up everything when you start, but you can filter that down. And again, it's going to pull up everything. So since there's a lot of law enforcement videos, you can filter that out yourself just by seeing if it's law enforcement or USIP. So you can just add the courses you want and then apply that. Then you'll want to save that. And there's your learning plan that's been created. Okay, and Joe noted you can also filter by USIP. So if you're just looking generally, yeah, you can just filter it that way too if you want to get rid of all of those law enforcement courses. Good point, thank you. Okay, so now we've created our learning plan. So if you want to make the assignment, you can go to this button. Okay, so here we've got the courses that I've created. Here you'll click assign. You don't need to fill out this short description, although you can if you want. So I'm just going to get it started with tomorrow. End date as the 3rd. Here you can accept early completions if you like, or to not accept late completions. So use that at your discretion, whatever works best for your organization. Can you assign one specific training to all? So we'll go into individual courses here in a moment. Okay, and then you can select your members. So here you can see you could do select all for that, and that will apply to the next thing we'll go through. In this example, we'll just assign it to me and Corby. Then we'll go to select notifications. These two are automatically selected. So that's going to let you know, this new learning assignment is going to let you know that the assignment has been made. And then it'll let you know, this one will let you know if the assignment is past due. You can also select some reminders 1 day and 3 days before, and then you can create your custom notifications to your specific needs. If you want to do it a week in advance or what have you, you can click there and do that. So then if you hit save, it has saved it and sent out the emails to myself and to Corby that these courses are available and that we can start taking them. Any questions on the learning assignments?
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Joe. You'd mentioned that it sends it to yourself and to Corby. I have not ever received an email to me that I had
You haven't.
assigned a learning assignment to somebody else. I just hope it works when it shows the little save button at the bottom. Can I change that?
That's something I'll have to ask Praetorian about. I've had issues receiving those emails myself, but Marty has been receiving them, but they've been delayed. So, and it seems to be different for each person, it seems. So let me check into that if that's all right.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions on that? Okay. So let's go to this create assignment. So this was not here until just recently. It was just through the learning plan. So before you used to be able to assign individual courses to members. And then when the new program launched, it was strictly the learning plans unless they went in and signed up for those courses themselves. So this create assignment allows you to do that. There's just some extra steps which we'll go through. So you can click to use a learning plan, and then that'll kind of go through the same process that we just showed. But this quick assignment lets you send out individual or multiple courses to one or more members. So in this case, let's just do an easy one. We'll do sexual harassment. So you do need to name the course. Okay, so I'll select that and add it. And again, we'll go to select the dates. Let's do the same thing as we did before. Select members. So Tracy, as you would ask, can you assign one specific training to all? Here's where you would do that. You would just select all the members and then select your notifications and go. In this case, we'll just send it to myself, select my notifications, save it, and then that course is now available for me to take. So it is a little bit of a different process, but hopefully that lets a lot of you do what you've wanted to do since this new program has started. That's something that I was frustrated that wasn't available to begin with, but I do like that they've incorporated it here. They've listened to a lot of the input that has come from the pools that they serve and have implemented that. Again, it is a little bit different, but I think it works really well. Any questions on that assignment? Okay. Tracy, did that answer your question?
So Alex, real quick, I have a question for you. This is Joe again.
Yeah.
On the so on the learning, you create a learning assignment, or let's see, and just going back. So you create a learning assignment with either just the one class or the multiple classes. Can you? It appears to me in the system that you can't go back to one that you've created already. Like, say I've created a learning assignment with 5 courses in it that I want all new hires to take. When I hire a new hire, it appears as though I have to create that learning assignment with the 5 courses again for that new employee. I can't go back and reassign that employee to a learning assignment I already created.
You're talking about the learning plan, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, oh,
Okay.
sorry, yes, a learning plan.
Oh, so so you would go to your manage learning assignments. So if I wanted to reassign this defensive driving one later, so it saves the plans that you've created, and then I would just go here to assign again and select those dates, select my members, and then save it. Is it not allowing you to do that?
No, I think that's just something I hadn't known I could do, so
Okay.
that's good to see. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions on that? Okay. Now, as I mentioned, this quick assignment thing is new. So my understanding is that if you assign a handful of assignments through that, um, you cannot go back in and then send those out to a new employee or something like that. In that case, you would want to create a learning plan if it's something that you plan on doing over and over again. But if you have an employee that periodically is having customer service issues that you want to make sure are resolved, you can just do that quick assignment and then go from there. But if that's something that comes up often, you would want to create that learning plan and then go through like we just described. Any questions on that? Okay. So let's see. Let's go back to that real quick. So here you can manage those assignments, those quick assignments. You can view them, edit them. So you could add more courses to that particular employee's assignment, or you could delete it if for some reason you needed to do that. But here, like we just mentioned, it doesn't look like you can then reassign it to somebody else. Here, though, you can check individual member progress on those too. And then there's just another way to get to that page. Okay. Managed course credit isn't really something that we've used. You can browse completion and recorded credit. We don't have any courses that have that. I guess there's some pools that do have accreditation that they use that for, or states that have accreditation. Ours isn't one of those, so in this case, it hasn't really been something that we've needed. Again, though, you can view completion or reset member completion. So this is useful if, in the case of something like sexual harassment or courses that you need to do annually, you can reset those the courses so they can do them again. Okay, let's go to reports. There was a question on that earlier. So here, excuse me, you can kind of just see on demand what's been completed. If you want to create a report here, you would click on that button. You want to choose your date range. So I actually had to do this today for something Johnny's working on. So I just chose January through present day. And then you can choose your report type. So you can choose members, credentials if you need that, credit summary. As you can see, there's quite a list here. In our case, we chose, we needed course completions. So that's what I selected. And then I exported it to Excel so that we could this gave us every member's list of completed courses. There is a way that you can do an individual. So in my case, I might need to just get Davis County's completion report. and then and export that. You might need to do that for an individual group. That is a function that they're setting up right now. So if that's something that you come across that you need, let me know and I can grant permission, or I can request permissions for that. But that is something that is not currently available, but they're working on. Again, here you can also just view it on the page if you want. You can also download certificates for courses that have been completed. So if you wanted to save the certificates, like I mentioned earlier, under your personal dashboard, you can get those. Here's where you would find that for everybody if you wanted to do that, for courses that your organizations have completed. Any questions on that? Okay, that is a little bit of, it's a little more difficult, I think, to find, but if you have any questions, I'm always happy to help with that, or you can go back through this presentation through the video that we'll put up. And like I mentioned, that will be time-stamped so you can find it easily. This report manager is something I haven't really played around with. As it mentions here, it's new, and I just haven't had a chance to tinker with that. So I apologize, and if it's something that we find will be useful for the membership, I can again do a presentation on that. There are some other features here. Analytics dashboards might just depend on what you find useful for your organization. But you can view general activity of how often LocalGovU is being used, the courses that are being taken. Again, policies. We don't have any of those right here, so there's nothing to really show. But you can view active assignments or past due assignments, which looks like it's limited within the last 30 days or next 30 days, depending on the tab. Again, you can view credentials for your organization here and add them. This curriculum guide is something there's actually been a bunch of new things added here that, like this curriculum guide I didn't see yesterday when I was in here. These surveys I didn't see until this morning. So there are some things that are fairly new. Customize, I haven't really played around with. They did this for us where they uploaded the USIP logo. You can, I guess, create your own for that. Although we would prefer that you keep it under USIP, just because that's where all of this is being accessed through. And to be honest, I'm not sure if all of you have these features based on where you fall under the organization. So you may not have some of those things here. Let's go to unlock courses. This isn't something that I've had to use, but if you have an employee who has taken a course a number of times, so like I mentioned a little while ago, when you set up the courses, you can adjust the percentage that they need to complete the quizzes by. So in most cases, it's between 80 to 100%, depending on the course, but you can adjust that to be 100% all the time. And if they don't pass it within a certain number of times, they'll get locked out of that course. Here you can come in and unlock those courses for them if they're ready to take it again. So I don't have any way to demonstrate that right now, but it's a pretty straightforward process. Policy Manager, this is new. It looks like it just directs us back to that page that we saw earlier. Where do you set the percentage to pass? So let's tackle that in a minute. Just kind of go through here again. Topic Manager, I haven't seen before. Looks like you can schedule or create your own topics. I'll again play with this and do another training if it's something that we think will be useful. Notification manager, again, looks like you can just modify your notifications, kind of just a redirect to what we've seen earlier. This training calendar is a little bit different though under the admin page. This shows you where everything that you've assigned. So this will be useful if you're wanting to see if or when a certain training is due by. You can just come in here and then see what you've assigned. This looks like it just takes us back to the course assignment, but you can see when you've got courses assigned to be completed. You can follow up with your membership that way too. But as opposed to the other one where you just saw your personal courses that were assigned, here you can see everybody's. Any questions on the admin section in general? Okay. Like I said, some of these tools are new, and some of them I did not see yesterday when I was doing this same kind of walkthrough. So if they are something that would be useful to know, I'll do a separate training on those if anybody's interested. Okay. There are a couple of things just up here, general things to kind of be aware of. We already covered the notifications. Here you can edit your profile, change your password, kind of straightforward stuff there. This, you can manage your users or groups. You can also switch your organization. So in our case, we have a demo account and then the USIP account. In your case, if you have groups set up under your county, so an HR group, a sheriff's group, a general employee group, you can then go in and see what LocalGovU looks like for them, and kind of poke around it that way, see what they're seeing, and kind of interact that way, which is kind of cool. And then this is just basic location and contacts. Nothing really to write home about, but it's good just to know what they are. So the question came in of setting the percentage to pass. We will see. Let me see. I haven't really tinkered with that. I've seen how it's done, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I apologize. I was not expecting a call during this training. Let's see. That might be something to poke into this general question. Okay, so I apologize. I'm not seeing that here of how we set that percentage to pass. And I'm not, like I've said, I'm not too sure how. I've not played with it. So what I will do is I will I'll research that, and when I send out the email, I'll just send that as a PDF, because it's going to just be a couple of buttons that you're going to click to get there, and that way you can see it. But I don't want to poke around here for a few minutes and kind of waste time if it's not something that's really easy to find. I apologize for that, Leanne, but I will get that figured out for you. Joe asks, can I add an employee to several groups? I believe you can. I don't think there's any limit to how many groups an employee can be in. I don't believe they're limited that way. Any other questions that anybody has? Okay, I'm not having anything come through the chat. So that kind of does it just for the walkthrough. I hope that that's useful. Oh wait, here we got one that comes through. Yes, Rayma, I will make sure that we get you set up as the Tri-County health contact. Okay, so hopefully this has been useful as far as just kind of seeing where some of these functions are. It has been a little bit different in terms of how they've got things structured, but I do think that this new way of assigning courses can be really helpful, especially with those learning programs. It is a little bit more work on the front end getting those set up, but as you can just reassign them, especially like with new hire trainings that you want to do or annual trainings, it'll save a lot of time just being able to go in back to that assignment or to that learning plan rather, and then just reassign them or send them out to your new hires. And I'm really glad that they incorporated sending individual courses or a number of courses to an individual user rather than having to create a learning plan every time that then gets stored if you don't need to do that. So like I mentioned, this is going to be made available. I'll put it on our YouTube page and I'll let you guys all know when that's ready to go. It'll be timestamped so you can jump to individual sections. And then if you have any questions, feel free to just reach out to me. I'm happy to walk you through something again if you need to individually through GoToMeeting or put together a little presentation for you if that's something that works better. But thank you guys all for joining today. And just again, let us know if there's anything we can do for you. We appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
This conference will now be recorded.